Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 139. We have drama today, and a little bit of violence for of you who might pay more attention. I'm going to call today Stretched Out for the Whips, because Paul is stretched out for the Roman whips today. He's just about ready to be examined by flogging. So why? Well, the Jews of Jerusalem have gotten a riot going. They got calmed down. Then Paul was allowed to speak. And when he got to the part and he said, he talked about being sent away to the Gentiles, this somehow got them all excited, re-excited, and they have a re-riot. And then this happens. This is Acts 22, verse 22. Up to this word they listened to him. Then they raised their voices and said, "Away with such a fellow from the earth, for he should not be allowed to live." And as they were shouting and throwing off their cloaks and flinging dust into the air, the tribune, that's a Roman guy in charge of 1,000 soldiers, the tribune ordered him to be brought into the barracks, saying that he should be examined by flogging, to find out why he was shouting against him like this. But when they had stretched, let's stop here. So flogging is a wooden stick, leather straps attached to the wooden stick, and on the end of the leather straps, bits of bone or metal. So this is not just a beating with sticks kind of thing. This is tearing of flesh, and frequently people would not even survive the flogging. As you may remember from the crucifixion, Jesus' flogging is likely why he died so quickly on the cross rather than lingering for days on end, because he was so near death when he got to the cross. Okay, so flogging is an extraordinarily nasty thing. So he orders him to be flogged to find out why they were shouting against him like this. And then look at how close they got to this. But when they had stretched him out for the whips, so he was ready to be flogged, Paul said to the centurion who was standing by, he just asked the question, is it lawful for you to flog a man who is, number one, a Roman citizen, and number two, uncondemned? The answer to both of those questions is no. In fact, Roman citizens were precluded. You can't even flog a Roman citizen even after. There is no flogging for Roman citizens. Why? Because it was so nasty. And then the other problem is that he's uncondemned, and flogging is often used as the punishment after condemnation. Okay. And then terror kind of goes through the Roman crowds. Verse 26. When the centurion heard this, he went to the tribune, his boss, and said to him, "What are you about to do? For this man is a Roman citizen." So the tribune came and said to him, "Tell me, are you a Roman citizen?" And Paul said, "Yes." The tribune answered, "I bought this citizenship for a large sum." Paul said, "But I am a citizen from birth." That actually trumps it. So those who were about to examine him withdrew from him, and the tribune was also afraid, for he realized that Paul was a Roman citizen and that he had bound him. All right. So this tribune, we're going to find out his name here in a couple more verses. His name is Claudius Lysias. And maybe there was a language barrier that he didn't understand why the crowd was so mad at Paul. And he tries to put him to the question and torture him so that he gets to the bottom of this. The problem about this is he does this illegally, and Romans didn't fool around with stuff like this. So by illegal, we mean that Claudius Lysias, the tribune, could lose both his job, his position. He could also lose his life. So this is a very, very dangerous thing, obviously for Paul, but it's also a very dangerous thing for Lysias, the Roman tribune. So the accusation here is that what Paul is doing is that the law has been violated twofold. That is, he's punished without sentencing, and that he's doing it to a Roman citizen who are exempt from this. Only slaves and foreigners could be beaten in this sort of a way. So one other little point which is interesting is there was no examination whether Paul was a Roman citizen or not. When Paul said he was, Lysias, the tribune, believed him. Why is that? Well, because if you lied about that, that itself was a capital punishment. So people didn't go around saying, I'm a Roman citizen when they weren't, because when they found out about it, they lost their lives. Okay. So let me just get to a couple of conclusions here today. Just the drama of this. So nothing happens as far as beating of Paul's, but this almost violence of the tribune and the Romans and the almost violence of this Jerusalem Jewish mob. And as you may remember, they're led by the Ephesus Jews who have, might be stirring up this particular crowd. So everybody is at risk. Paul is at risk of being beaten, literally torn apart unto death by this flogging. And he's so close. He's stretched out for it. He's one whip away from this. And the tribune is one whip away from this dangerous moment with Paul. He's being stretched out for this quote unquote examination. And the crowd is just at risk for being wrong. So what a dramatic story today. I don't know if there's a spiritual lesson, but there's great drama in Paul's life as his relationship with the Romans begins. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.